going to use Photoshop to do some color editing. This is one of my photos. You will be using your own photo. It can really be whatever you want. Your backyard, someone in your house, your room, a self-portrait. It really doesn't matter. Pick something that you like. We're going to be editing color using curves. So you can see I've been doing some other adjustments on this. Uh, I'm not done with it, but I am at the point where I do want to start adding some color curves. Let's go ahead and get started. Go up to Adjustments and click the Curves button. Now, this might look intimidating at first, but it's really not. The right-hand side up here, this is your highlights, this is your brights, your whites. Down here, this is your blacks. You can see that in this photo, there's more blacks, right, than whites, and you can see that. It's more dark spots than light spots. So what we're going to do is give it an old-timey kind of reddishy look. So if you go up here to RGB, red, green, blue, you can go in here and you can adjust the color cast of various parts of your image. So the opposite of red, cyan, the opposite of green, magenta, the opposite of blue, yellow. So in each one of those, you can control two different color tones. I'm going to go ahead first and go to red. Now, let's say that I want the red to apply mostly to a certain part of the image. And in fact, let's say I want it to apply mostly to the foreground with these people. Well, if you grab this button right here and you hover over, do you see that there's a little circle in the curves moving as I move around the colors? Well, it's telling you what part of the curves you need to edit to get the most change in the specific area. So this is saying up in the middling highlights for the face. So I'm going to go back over and I'm going to go ahead and make a point, right? Make another point and adjust. Now, if I go up, it's giving it a more cyan tone, the opposite of red. However, if I go down, I can get red tones. I can space this out, give it more of an adjustment to try to give it a kind of classic-y red tone. There we go. There we go. Now, let's say I want to give it a slightly more of a pop back here. Well, you can see that's down in the dark tones. So let me adjust. There we go. Now, let's say that I want to add more of a greenish tone to these leaves up front. Well, which channel do I go to? Green. Okay. I'm going to figure out what section. Okay, so this is telling me the dark parts are in the back, but I want these leaves, so that's at the top. So I'm going to go over, maybe put in some points, and start pulling it down to give it a more greenish pop. There we go. Now, let's say, looking at this, that I don't really like what I've done to some of the faces. Well, that's where your mask comes in. So I'm going to hit B for brush, or go to the brush tool over here, B for brush, scale my brush up, and let's see. I'm going to pick myself I'm going to general brushes, pick myself let's do a soft round brush. Okay. And I can start using black, take it out of parts that I don't want it in. You can see my little dots over here. Okay, let me go ahead next and try to give this background. I'm still not too thrilled with it. Let me go ahead and try to give it more of a bluish tone in the back. Let's go ahead and add a second curves adjustment. Go to your blue, right? Blue channel. And this is going to be in the back and in the bottom parts down here because it's dark. So let me go ahead and attempt to get it how I want it. Now remember, I'm only looking in those back shadowy bits. There we go. All of this, I'm going to get rid of. I'm just looking back here. Okay, that's reasonable. Let me go ahead now and B for brush, right? Let's go ahead and make it big because I'm going to be painting. And I need to take this out of mostly everything. I just want it in that back area. As you can see right there. So, before, after, before, after. Here's what I want you to do. Take any picture you want and give me 2 different color tones. I would say this is 1 color tone. And in fact, I'm going to put this into a folder. And I'm going to call it something like old-fashioned tone. Maybe you give me one that's got a sepia, reddish tone like this. Maybe you give me something with a more cool tone. Maybe you want to do something crazy with a green tone or yellow. It's your call, but go ahead, tone your images. Give me 2 different looks on the same image. Then you're going to do File, Save As. You're going to save it with your name, so something like Hamel, color tone. Make sure it's a Photoshop document. And you wouldn't be Hamel, you would be whatever your name is. But Hamel, color tone, Photoshop, and then give me that Photoshop file on Focus. All right, guys, hopefully you don't have that many questions about this. I tried to make it short, simple, and easy for you this week. Go ahead, ask me any questions in Teams, and let's see if we can all get this assignment in together.